blue sheet, was this a resume made by this kid, or was it?
That is his name, Matt Zarolo. He's from Florida. That is his name. And no, all the information on there is dummy information. The reason Matt's name is on there is because I needed to pull up his golf scores out of the rankings. When I turned on that resume and went to the automatic update feature, since I'm not in there, I couldn't make it for myself. So I just put Matt's name on the top of it and filled in his golf scores. So that our system would fill in that section of the road. Everything else on there is not his phone number, not his parents, not anything else. Okay. Anything else? By the way, the resume is very impressive. It also can be intimidating because it asks, do you have a sports psychologist? Do you have a physical trainer? Do you have this? Do you have that? Don't worry about this stuff. Also, if you're a sophomore, you may not have taken your PSATs yet. You may have not taken your SATs yet, obviously. Don't worry. That's okay. You don't put it in not yet taken. So don't worry about that stuff so much. But it is something you want to do, whether you do it with us or somebody else. But if you do it with us, you don't have to fuss around very much with it. Any other questions about navigating competitive junior golf? Okay, I can answer them afterwards too. By the way, please feel free, I have business cards, please feel free. I field, on average, 50 to 75 calls a month from parents, and another 10 or 15 from kids, every month, or on the phone. I'm always available at the office. Mark.
Hey, Matt, can I just read this on
Sure.
junior amateur status? A junior golfer may receive expenses when competing in competitions limited exclusive to junior golfers. That's under Rule 4, subsection 2 of the USGA amateur status.
Okay. And it makes no distinction as to the source of those funds?
Correct.
Okay. That is also the rule, by the way. Also,
However, it will further state that the acceptance of the expenses may violate the eligibility rules of the NCAA.
Aha.
And then therein lies the major problem.
Yes. The NCAA and the USGA are not always on the same page. They're not on the same page. For instance, you heard today about a coach giving advice during competition in college. Well, the NCAA and USGA have been battling about whether there can be two coaches doing that. Because most golf teams now have a coach and an assistant coach. And the NCAA has wanted to allow two coaches on the field of play, like football and basketball and baseball and everybody else gets. But the USGA, so anyway, that's a side thing. Anyway, they're not always on the same page. As Mark's point is, you got to be careful. You got to be careful where the USGA's amateur status goes versus where the NCAA is. So before you start taking any money from people, be very careful about that.
Call us.
Call you. Call Mark.
Take your money.
Any more questions about navigating the world of junior golf? Okay, let's talk about getting to college and playing golf. All right, what are we going to cover? Well, let's talk about the makeup of college golf. Let's talk about the importance of academics, which I have already briefly alluded to by saying the top 3 priorities. Let's talk about overview. We're going to talk about overview of recruiting. We're talking about becoming a prospect. All right, how big is college golf? Here you go. That's June 2010. It's huge. There's 302 Division I men's programs in this country to start with. All right? And women's programs, there's Division I, Division II, Division III, NAIA, this is the junior college stuff. For those of you who may need some academic seasoning and want to spend a year or two at a junior college, there are 215 junior college golf programs, most of which are in Florida and Texas and California. But there are. You can go, and junior college players go on to play Division I golf all the time. So if you're not really ready academically, or you just kind of like feel like, you know, that is absolutely a path. So anyway, 1,151 men's golf programs alone. They usually need 2 players minimum each year. That's 2,200 young men that are needed every single year to fill the demand of college golf. I'm ranking 2,000 and some kids, boys right now in class 2011. So firstly, every kid in that ranking system could fill the demand. Now, every kid in that system is not ready to play college golf, so there's always a lot going on. On the women's side, there's 649, double that by 2, and you're talking about 1,200 young ladies are needed every year to fill the demand for women's golf. And I am ranking in class 2011 right now less than 325 girls. Every one of these golf association people in the room will tell you getting girls to play golf is a huge opportunity for the golf business, and we're not doing a very good job at it. So the ladies who are in the room, trust me, you have an extraordinary financial opportunity to not pay anything for college golf. Keep at it, stay at it, because you will be found and you will get money to go to school. That's why you see so many foreign players in the women's golf world, in college golf world, because the United States is not producing girl golfers to meet this demand. So you can see there's lots of opportunity. Now each one of these divisions has a little bit of different rules about how they recruit and what they can recruit, but there's a lot of demand out there. How about $6 million worth of scholarships available each year in this country for college? It's a big opportunity, a big opportunity. All right, let's talk about scholarships and roster size. The roster size, how many players are on each team, is based upon what the coach wants to have in recruits, and also walk-ons. In other words, a walk-on is you go on, you weren't recruited, you're not getting a scholarship, you showed up at school, and you say, Coach, I think I can play, and you go out and play, and you fire a couple of 69s on this team course, and you go, Coach says, maybe I'll give you a bag. Well, the funny story about that is Buddy Alexander in Florida kept hearing about this kid. He kept hearing about this kid from his players, saying, this kid can play, this kid can play. Buddy got so tired of listening to this. Tell you what, if he goes out and qualifies for the US Open, qualifies for the USAM, does this, does that, I'll let him walk on. Well, the kid went out and qualified for the US Open, qualified for the USAM, and he walked on. But walk-ons, some schools don't do walk-ons on offense, all their positions are filled by scholarship players, but some schools do. So you can walk on, but it's not the easiest route to go. The men's average size squad is 10 plus with 8 to 9 scholarship players and 1 to 2 walk-ons. Again, the walk-ons are not in very many schools, particularly the higher Division I school programs don't have many walk-ons. But 8 to 9 scholarship positions. So it's about 10, it's in the 10. Some of the schools are starting to get a little bit smaller in their squad size. One coach said, as you know, as you may not know, typically a college golf team takes 5 players to a tournament, and all 5 players play, and the best 4 scores count each time you play. Each round you play, the best 4 scores count. One college coach was quoted as saying, my perfect squad size is 6. Because the one person who has to stay home has nobody to complain to. But usually 8 to 10. It's in the end 8 to 10 range. Some schools are bigger. Some schools have a lot of. They have A squads and B squads and whatever. Okay. The women's average squad size is less than 10 with more scholarship players and fewer walk-ons. The women are allowed to give out more money. They get more scholarship money than the men do, and I'll show you that in a second. So they have, each girl on the team gets more money usually, or in fact in some cases like Duke, where Dan Brooks does have a squad size of 6, maybe 7, I think it's 6. He gives everybody a full scholarship. But then that's Duke, and that's Dan Brooks, and that's why they're national champions every